Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. So there's really no secret to getting in shape, whatever your goal may be, whether it be to gain muscle, to lose some weight. It's pretty straightforward stuff, and anyone who tries to sell you on the idea that it needs to be complicated, that it's somehow a secret to getting ripped or the secret to getting lean, there is no secret. And usually people who, come across that way, who lead with that in mind, are usually trying to sell you something, are usually trying to scam you in some way, trying to sell you, again, the idea that it's complicated and that if you buy their course or that if you, somehow click their links, just trying to sell you on something that's the secret to getting ripped, just following their advice or following their course. I mean, there's nothing wrong per se with selling courses. I'm just trying to, warn you that a lot of people out there are snake oil salesmen and scammers, right? So be very careful on the advice that you take in general. But again, this is just from my personal experience. Again, losing fat or losing weight, gaining muscle, which is what I'm going to focus on in this video, is not complicated at all. It basically just takes, if you're trying to get into shape and get into, build some solid muscle on your frame and get lean, which is what I'm going to focus on. The number one thing that you have to keep in mind is intensity of effort. Your muscles will only grow if they are under a stress that they are not used to before. Think about it. If you are familiar with something, right? If you are familiar with something, it doesn't really challenge you, whatever it may be. You're used to it. It's common practice. You see it, you experience it day to day, whatever it may be. It doesn't really catch you off guard, right? It doesn't really cause some sort of internal reaction to whatever it may be, right? You've gotten comfortable and your body is used to it. So the same thing applies to exercise. Your exercise needs to be intense enough to trigger a response in your body, right? Telling your body basically that it needs to grow, it needs to adapt to this new stimulus, to this new stressor that's being placed upon it, right? So that's basically the main thing that you need to keep in mind when trying to build muscle. You need to challenge yourself. Now, the way that you go about that, is pretty much up to you, obviously. I would recommend you pick something that you enjoy and that you actually find, again, some sort of enjoyment in, whether it be calisthenics, weightlifting, or martial arts, whatever it may be, right? It all obviously comes down to what goals you have in mind for yourself. But again, if you're trying to gain muscle, it all comes back to intensity of effort. What you put into something is what you're going to get out. Now, everybody's recovery time is different. There is no one size fits all when it comes to exercise or, bodybuilding. If you're young, obviously your recovery time is going to be a lot shorter than, if you're older, you're going to take a lot more time to recover. But again, everybody's body is different. There's no one size fits all. So listen to your body. I would recommend starting off with working out intensely 3 times a week, full body exercises, right? Compound lifts, compound exercises that target multiple muscle groups, and just going as hard as possible with the exercises that you pick. You don't need to include too much volume. Just pick 2 or 3 exercises that you're going to do on the given day and give your very best to those exercises, right? And that's basically it. We have this idea, again, that like Mike Mentzer said, if you're familiar with the famous bodybuilder Mike Mentzer, he said that, people think that more is better in almost everything in life, right? But this doesn't apply to exercise. More is not always better when it comes to exercises. So you don't need to do a bunch of sets, keeping your sets crazy high, going all out in all those sets. No, just, again, pick two or 3 exercises, two sets, 2 to 3 sets maximum, 1 set to warm up, and then the other 2 sets will be, again, full intensity on those sets. And just focus on those, right? So for example, You could do squats, pull-ups, and push-ups on the first day. 2 to 3 sets on each exercise, and that's it. And then the next day you work out. Again, listen to your body, get enough sleep and rest, and when you feel 100%, work out again. Don't work out again if you're not feeling at your maximum, right? Because again, it all just comes back to what I said earlier in the video. Intensity is the king, right? So if you're not gonna go full out intensity on your next workout, right, you might as well just not even do it, in my opinion. That's what really worked for me. Just cutting off, the excess volume, narrowing down my exercises, keeping it to 3 solid workouts a week, and just focusing on compound lifts, making sure that I'm fully recovered before my next workout, that I feel 100%, and just giving it my all when I do work out. And this is what really has made the difference for me. Obviously, nutrition plays a part, and there's a lot of great resources out there to, fill you in on this part of the process. But again, it's not that difficult. Eat until you're satisfied. You don't have to overeat and, eat like these people on steroids are telling you to eat. Just eat until, eat a well-balanced diet. Animal-based, I would highly recommend it. That's what I do. But again, to each their own. Eat until you're full, get enough sleep, and just go all out in your exercises, right? It's really simple. But again, there's a lot of people out there that try to make it seem like it's overly complicated, and they're throwing out these crazy terms like the rest pause motion, and the eccentric and concentric motion of the exercise needs to be done with this time frame, and they're just trying to basically make it seem like it's more complicated than it really is, right? It's a lot of it is dishonest, like I said, so just be very careful in who you listen to. So again, it's not that difficult. You can get into shape if you want. It all just comes back to your mentality and how much you want it, right? And it doesn't need to be overly complicated or difficult, like I said many times throughout this video. Just give it your all when you do work out. Get enough sleep, exercise, get enough sleep, and take care of the food that you're taking in. Make sure that it's quality food, and that's really all there is to it, right? And just be as consistent as possible, and you'll start seeing the results. So if you made it this far in the video, hopefully something that I mentioned is of value to you, is of use to you. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I just try to talk about topics in life that I have some sort of experience in, or I share my thoughts on a certain area of life, whether it be in self-improvement, just general life advice, any other observation that I might make, anything that fascinates me in general. I'm sure that if you stick around on this channel, you'll find something of value here. Thank you to all the viewers and subscribers to this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know your thoughts on this video, on any video suggestions that you might have, anything in general, and I'll see you guys in the next one.